something was said earlier too, and I know that this is probably personal to some people in the room, but it is what it is, and I'm gonna always say what it is. Jail is not what you think. It's not something from the devil, like the devil did to the jail. Jail is something from God, and according to the way we live, some of us make mistakes, and jail, just like hell, is something that God has reserved for us. The police and the judges and the lawyers, they're just playing a role as well. They work for a higher power.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Because a man not from our culture says something legal doesn't make it legal to God. So if someone from a higher part of our country says we got to go to another country and kill kids because we told you that that's legal, it don't mean it's legal to God.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And some of the things we in jail for are their rules, but we wouldn't be in jail if they were our rules. You know, the crazy thing is the people that we call criminals by society are heroes to us in the street because he's a hero because he didn't snitch. Even regardless of what he did, the fact that he had the honor to be accountable makes him a man.
What makes us more accountable is when we come and recognize the sin that we were in.
Exactly.
And be accountable for that.
But is it a sin?
I ain't gonna speak about no one else.
Is it a sin when you're defending yourself?
Yeah, me.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you agree to a game and I agree to a game, fuck the law. Is it a sin? If by our rules, if you violate me, I gotta do something to you? But by our rules, that's fair. Our rules, not their rules. Is that a sin? I'm asking you, is that a sin?
It's a sin once I go against my parents, because my parents are the ones who have been set in place.
But if you don't have parents?
It's a sin because you're breaking God's rules.
Yeah, but let me finish.
What's God's rules? Survival. Wait, so why it's not a sin if you kill an animal?
It is a sin if you murder an animal.
If something's trying to hurt you, it's not a sin.
In the original text,
Stop there.
Was murder.
If somebody touches my kid, if somebody tries to murder me, they deserve to get hurt.
Different.
And there ain't nothing wrong with that.
And if you play a game where killing is part of it, you violate the game, it's a part of it. Is that a sin?
Yeah.
So So let me ask you a question: Is hunting for sport a sin?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I believe that too.
Absolutely.
But how many people do that and it's legal?
And they need to learn. They need to hear the truth.
All right, so that's what I'm saying. But people don't go to jail for that.
That is what
they
still have to pay for what they did. Whether you
what I'm saying is,
whatever we do,
listen to what I'm saying. Your survival is the law. The survival. To not get killed is the law. Now, if you just killing niggas for no reason, you deserve jail.
Right.
If a nigga trying to kill you because he did something and try to rob you and you got to kill him, it's hard to say that
but
a
why
nigga's
was he trying to rob you?
Regardless to why.
No,
he might be trying to rob you, all right, because you the connect. Because if you have a lot of money and somebody tries to rob you and you hit him with a gun that's not illegal and the money might have been made by illegal means, you going to jail.
It's a domino effect. So
what's the
domino effect?
What's the debate?
Again,
what's the debate? I just want to make sure.
It's not a debate.
It could be. I don't mind.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
What's the difference of opinion?
What are we talking about?
Right. I'm gonna say this, right. I understand what you're saying. Sometimes people is placed in a position where they have to do.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm trying to say? In my case, you know what I'm saying? I grew up in the 60s, so I grew up in poverty. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with, there was no Pampers. My mom's had to wash, my diapers out in the toilet, in the bathtub and all that. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't have that until our family finned. I came from a family of 10. So you gotta remember, it was no abortions back then. So I had to come out and do what I had to do. And the main thing that I was taught from that is that whatever you do to get money, you bring back to the family. But at the same time, what I'm trying to implicate is this. You know what I'm saying? These dudes today, and I'm not trying to move off the subject. These dudes today, they got more things in place for them, more opportunities to get money. You know what I'm trying to say? Than I had then. So therefore, it was the reason why I did what I did. Now I'm gonna say I want to continue with this too because my education came from institution, from juvenile, from state jail. I learned, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say this because a lot of y'all dudes look at Rich and the rest of them. If they had the education I had from growing up in the household like I had, I'm not saying they didn't, but if they had went to jail and at an early age, 16, juvenile and all that shit, they would have got that and they would have been able to deal with certain things that came along. See, I got that education in jail. You know what I'm trying to say? So when I went to the feds, believe it or not, I knew how to make nines. You know what I'm trying to say? How to put dudes on deck because I learned that from certain dudes that, you know what I'm trying to say? Black Panther dudes that was in the jail, you know what I'm saying? Taught me, you know what I'm saying? My history of far as like, you know what I'm saying?
So can I just build on that? So when I told you I went to the jails and I saw what they were teaching them, they were training them to go back into the community and justify doing certain things that we would consider criminal. It's not like people aren't stepping in. Like you said, he came from juvenile. This is what they teach you in there to survive.
Right.
So when you're born into an environment and this is all you know, it's not wrong to you. So you can't judge a person by the way they're programmed sometimes. That's why we all have unrecognized trauma. The first thing that I did when he came home was get him with a therapist. You understand what I'm saying? Just to talk it out. And we did it publicly so people know it's not weak. So that we know that he's trying to improve himself. The second thing we did was talk to a senator about the problems in jail. So that we can fix it so we don't have to have another loop. Because he's so intelligent, very clear, and a good dude. But based on circumstance, this is all he knew to survive. He was trained to do this by our government.
Right.
What about
So,
Satan?
All right, call it. You know, we all have different names for different things.
How's the therapy?
So
Is it?
Well, the therapy was helpful. Was how you say it? Therapy?
Yeah.
It was therapy, but like, you know, I'm still going through trauma. Like my, you know what I'm saying, the females that I'm dealing with, they notice certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like me getting in the shower still with my clothes on, with my drawers on and all shit like that.
Yeah.
Me being in the mall, we laughing and joking, and all of a sudden I get serious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
So, you know, it's coming along, but at the same time, like I said, it's a process.
It's a
But you
process.
gotta remember, 27 years of process, and I've been through a lot. I'm not saying that a lot of dudes that went through my time, they did their time smoothly, but I did my time rough because I was holding down a state that was a bygone. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm saying this because all the young dudes that came along, I had to hold them down. So therefore, I'm going to lockdown programs and I'm being suffered. I mean being locked down, you know what I'm saying, belly chain, shackles, me and my celly butt ass naked, they putting us in cells, you know what I'm saying, I got to turn my back while you go to the bathroom and I, you know what I'm saying, certain shit like that. That shit is unhuman. You know what I'm saying? That shit is unhuman.
That's what
But at the same time, let me just finish this. At the same time, I came out the way I am, you know what I'm saying, with a mind, but at the same time, I'm still traumatized because every now and then, I get flashbacks like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Even with dudes that I don't know, or I do know, that look different to me, they come up to me like, yo, such and such. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still on point. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Who are you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm still kind of traumatized.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, that's how, you know.
But on a personal note, he really, it's like no one knew who was going to come back. But he came back like, yo, I don't want to go back. I don't want none of that. I don't want to have to worry about the things that I did because people don't understand why.
And I don't want no use to go back neither to that. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? He don't want none of that shit.
Relax at all.
And that's a good thing.
Right.
It's a great thing.
The good
Right,
thing
but-
is
but-
to have
but
remorse.
why- but why
That's
should-
what I'm saying.
But imagine him as a little baby. You know what I'm saying? And what he had to go through to become this guy. So that's why I was asking, like, well, what the fuck? Like, you know, I could ask him these things, like, what the fuck made you think you so tough?
And all he did
And
was
he-
grow up like any one of us, man. Just like you in Brooklyn, just like us in Harlem. You know what I mean? We just stand tall. Niggas knew we had to stand up. We was ready to die for that shit. At a young age, we be ready to die, homie.
Yeah.
We get older, then worry about death. But when we young, we don't be giving a fuck. You know that.
You're not even expected. You're not
like
even
you're invisible. You're young.
You're not even expected to make it to this age.
Like that.
Listen, I'll tell you the biggest thing that I feel like affects us as black men in these neighborhoods and what makes us just have so little respect for human life is not having something to be attached to.
Right.
That's why a lot of these kids are joining gangs and all that. There's no history for us to be proud of.
Now,
That's something that used to plague my mind. Hold on a second. That's something that used to plague my mind when I was young. And it wasn't until like I exposed myself to like religious groups or whatever, something that would give me a history to say, yo, you're connected to these great people and you're really from that bloodline. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Without that, you just thinking, we were slaves, they brought us over here, they put our ass
and that goes back to the visuals we see.
Right.
To the movies we watch.
Right.
You're 100% right. There was a time when it was there was a time.
Everybody, each one of us in this room is tough. I put a bullet in a nigga head.
But hold on.
That's the vibe right now.
But hold on.
And that's bad.
Hold on, but what you were saying is right. There was a time when the Moors ran the planet.
Right.
We ran everything. But what you do when you conquer somebody, you erase their history. That's what you do. That's rule number one. Erase their history.
And teach us this shit.
So they've erased the strength so it never happens to them again. Again, I'm not mad at them. Because when we was in control, they was our slaves. Right. And they don't want that to ever happen again. They were very strategic. See, a punk is strategic. Real strategic. A scared motherfucker is gonna make a map so he don't get hurt. A tough motherfucker is just gonna walk in without a plan because he think he can deal with whatever.
Right.
We're taught to be tough, not strategic. We're taught to be tough with each other. But we're not strategic about how to fight them.
The worst part.
And them is not a color. It's the people that are trying to oppress us.
It's hot for trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the way you need to surf you heard.